Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, y'all. Hello. I'm taking a deep, deep breath because I just wrapped up the third day of the Stress to Secured 3-day challenge, wellness challenge for Black women who are of the few or only one in the room. And if you know what that means, you know what that means. I feel empowered right now. I feel excited for what's to come. And I want to share 3 P's that I needed to stick with to really carry this out. Now, I give it up to my coach. She can do a 3-day conference and talk for 8 hours a day. But as you think about the planning part, putting all a whole challenge together with my small team, mighty team, I'm tired after an hour each day for 3 days. But I want to share with you all 3 P's that I had to center myself around to make this a successful challenge. The first one was to plan. I thought about this challenge a few months ago, and I'm gonna tell you the upside and the downside to these 3 P's. But the positive side of it, the upside is I had a plan, I had a vision, I knew what kind of space I wanted to create because I know what women are talking about because I asked them. I paid attention. And what I'm hearing is that we are tired. We are so tired of showing up in spaces where we're the few or the only one, because that brings about such a degree of heaviness, uncertainty. But what I really wanted to drive home in this challenge is the opportunity. If that opportunity is not safe for you, it is time for you to pivot. It is time for you to build that backup plan, launch that business, get that coach, get the service you need, go to therapy so you can unpack and process whatever is causing you to stay in your own way. The space was powerful over the past 3 days. Monday, my plan worked out well. It worked out like it was supposed to. The panel showed up and showed out. The testimonies that I received saying that panel alone created shifts and changes in their lives because we got to experience women who are in the educational arena. We have professional speakers who are logging 40 hours on the stage, inspiring and helping people activate change in their lives. We had an attorney. We had a fellow therapist and clinician. So when I say there was power on that panel, there was power on that panel. Then day two centered around going through and unpacking my transformational process in which I work with clients on, and that is the system method to self advocacy. And then we added to stress prevention. And through that methodology, I took our attendees on a transformation. Y'all, that transformation was so deep. It was so deep. On day 2, which was last night, I introduced my coaching program, my life coaching program, which is the Sister Society, a life coaching program for Black women who are of the few or only one in the room. That's my audience right there. I know what that personally feels like. So part of my plan was to be so specific in who I want to work with outside of the therapy space. Coaching and therapy ain't the same thing. I was so intentional about who I want to work with. I curated a coaching program, a life coaching program specifically for that Black woman. So I stuck to the plan. And the downside, half of my plan fell through, y'all. Half of my plan fell through. One, it fell through just issues that I anticipated, technology issues. I love ConvertKit. ConvertKit has allowed me to communicate with my people in the mass, my subscribers, keeping them updated. But my sequence fell apart, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie, my sequence fell apart. So I had to do things by the day. Okay. Then on Wednesday, I was getting sick and I was losing my voice. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's the first day of the challenge. What am I gonna do?" Thank goodness I had that panel because by the time I wrapped up, my voice was nearly gone. And as you can hear, it's coming and going, but it's going right now. But that plan, I sat with what fell apart. I sat with what happened well because I could not fall apart just because pieces of my plan fell through. I knew it was purposeful for me to put on this challenge right now today. So the inconveniences of my plan was not going to stop me because they never stopped me. I pivoted. I took another turn. You know what I mean. Number two, I had to prioritize my well being each day of this plan. I dropped my social media time. I didn't schedule a lot of appointments. I had to center myself and prioritize my own needs. And after all, I was getting sick. And so each day of the challenge, I compartmentalized what was in priority. I took care of myself every day. And Moomba right here, she showed up and showed out a little bit, but I had to prioritize me in order to present myself in the best light possible and showing up as my authentic self that is. And so I believe that resonated because the emails, the DMs, the text messages I got, women I've interacted with say, "You spoke to me, sis. You told my story. You curated this for me. It made it worth it." That's why I needed to prioritize me so I can show up and close day 3 out with a bang. The third P that I had to ground and center myself around was the problem solving. I already talked about how half of my plan fell through of what I envisioned for this challenge, but problem solving on the fly. Some of my things I delegated to certain team members, it didn't get done, but that was okay because I'm a woman of many trades. And so I created a quick funnel. I created, a landing page because the other one wasn't working. I needed some more graphics that I thought I had in my challenge starter kit, but it didn't happen. So the problem solving was in full gear. And here's the thing, with problem solving, I made sure I stayed grounded. I was patient with myself and gave myself so much grace, and I just showed up. I didn't need a lot of bells and whistles. I showed up for my sisters. And so I introduced that 90-day group coaching program, and it's called the Sister Society. The word society is exclusive. It's affinity driven. It's curated with the Black woman in mind. And so I'll be rolling that out to the folks outside of the challenge in a few days. So be on the lookout for that. Y'all know how I roll. I'm very honest, I'm very grounded. And what I love most about my coaching program that will be launching is from a practical and also the clinical. I have a huge worldview of how to conceptualize human behavior, the human struggle, but the human strength as well. And I'm super down to earth and relatable. Okay. So be on the lookout for that. I know y'all know about three women who need that extra boost right now, who need that accountability support so they can get out of their own ways. So I had to come share that with y'all. Part of it is I want to share my excitement in real time. And the other part is if you are thinking about doing something, stop waiting on people to validate you. Stop waiting on people to declare your worth. Do it. Do it imperfectly because done is better than perfect. And you're talking to someone who lives with anxiety and who obsesses about a lot of things. Do it. Regardless of what tomorrow brings with this, I did it. And I am so damn proud because you know how it is. You sit on things, and you are in your way. And when you look up, you realize somebody that made a seven-figure business off an idea you had in a journal. That's happened to me 3 times in the past 7 years. I sat on something. So I encourage you, get out of your own way. Do what you need to do to live well. Within our past 3 days, I talked about 3 types of women that are showing up. You're a dreamer. You spend a lot of time dreaming. And here's the thing, that is different than daydreaming, your vision, seeing how you fit, that guided imagery. I schedule my daydream time. Every Friday, midday, I daydream because I like to see myself in my vision. But here's the thing, the daydreaming is not a replacement for me doing what I need to do. So you have your dreamer, don't take a lot of risks. You have your decider. You've decided you're going to do some things, but you haven't made movement. You're not really doing much. See, deciding and doing are two very different things, operating by two very different standards. And then the third type of woman that I often come in contact with on this journey is the doer. She is doing what is necessary to be her most optimal self. However, she still needs a little bit of guidance, a lot of accountability, and a space where she can show up where she's not self editing or code switching to reach her goals, her most productive and optimal self. Dreamers, deciders, and doers. Who are you? Where are you at on your journey? Because right now, I invite you to do a little bit more doing because doing, saying, and doing are two very different things. So that's all I wanted to share with you all. And so, if y'all attended the challenge, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is one of many of what I am curating under Space for Sisters. And I'm going to put the plug out there. Join our free Facebook community. I'm going to be active in there, popping in there because we need that space. We need an unfiltered, unwatered down space where we can be us. Okay. And also, if you have not subscribed, downloaded, and shared the podcast, Space for Sisters podcast, what are you waiting for? Y'all said y'all love me. Y'all said y'all wanted to give me all these gifts for my birthday month. Go ahead and gift. And if you've gotten a value and you enjoyed the podcast, leave a positive review. I want to know what y'all think. So that's all I want to share. As I always say, protect your peace and be so unapologetic about it. Y'all have a great night. Peace.